All right, how's everybody doing tonight? I just want to thank everybody for joining in with us. We got a really great show lined up tonight. We got Dustin Hays coming in. He's a FLW Pro. And we also got the Bass Federation Nation, Caleb Sumrall. He's going to be coming on. He's going to be talking about how he got his win. And, guys, this is going to be a fall fishing show. I mean, it's going to be packed full of fall fishing stuff. So, but guys, before we go any further, I just want to thank our sponsors, Yak Lights, Falcon Rods, Missile Baits, J&J Custom Tackle, Costa, and our biggest one, Bob's Up the Creek Outfitters. This show has been really moving on in a great direction, and it's all because of our sponsors and all because of our listeners. So, guys, if you really like what you're seeing and hearing, please go subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and let us know what you think of the show. And also find us on iTunes, please, guys. If you listen to it, give us a rating. Let us know what you think of the show, and tell us a little comment in your rating after you listen. And that way it helps us out, too, with getting our show out there more for more people to hear. So I'll quit running my mouth, and we'll get on with the show. All right, everybody. I want to thank y'all for joining in with us tonight. Guys, we got a great show lined up for you. I'm Josh Carter.
And I'm James Bush.
Guys, we got an action-packed show. That sounds really corny, don't it? Action-packed show. It's to us it is. It's fall fishing. So the topwater bite's getting really good. It's just going to be a really great show, and we're really excited about the guests that we got lined up for tonight. But, guys, I want to apologize because I know we haven't done a show in a while. I know I've talked about it. We finally got moved in our house. I'm actually in our new studio now. Hopefully the sound is okay. I got to do some work in here to try to deaden the echo sound when you talk in here. But don't worry, it'll get better. Other than that, that's just what we got going on. We should start kind of being on our normal schedule with getting more shows up and doing better with that. But James, how have you been, man? I know you've been busy too. Have you been able to get any fishing in? Or I know you worked on your truck and you've been kind of getting that project done.
Yeah, I got that all done. I haven't done much fishing here in the last couple weeks, but I'm hoping to hit it maybe tomorrow. If not, it'll probably be Saturday. I'll go up for a little bit. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you commented on my thing. It's Dylan Hays. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Dustin. I was looking at something else on my computer. It's Dylan Hays we got on tonight, guys. I'm sorry, Dylan, for that. But no, so your truck, tell us about your project you had going on.
Yeah, I just done a little bit of the EGR delete, the all that stuff, getting rid of all that stuff. So, you know, it's not necessarily completely legal, but it definitely suits the horsepower up in it a lot. So it should pull that boat down the road a lot better and be more fuel efficient. So
it's going to yank your frame at the bottom of that camper when we go down to the Classic.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it should do pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, added about 200 more horsepower to it, so it should pull pretty good.
Now, you've been working on a video with that. I didn't know if you were still going to possibly get that up. I know you were talking about it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get it up maybe this weekend. If not, I'm hoping this weekend. Just depends on how things go. Yeah. But not, I'll have it all recorded, and I can just work with putting it together during the week. Hopefully get it posted sometime next week.
Are you going to add like a burnout scene at the end of it?
I mean, you just never know what might happen.
Well, man, I'm really excited about this show tonight, James. I know the topwater fishing's coming in. We haven't had a chance to do it, but I really want to kind of get on one little subject before we get into the main part of the show, and that is the tournament we got coming up this weekend for Landon. I mean, what am I talking, man? I'm way out of it. Not this weekend. Yeah, November 11th.
This weekend is November the 11th.
Yeah. We got Landon's tournament, and I'm out of it today, dude. I'm telling you, it's just
You're struggling today.
I am struggling. I got the new show jitters, man. You think we just started doing this show? Now, anyways, November 11th, we got a charity event for Landon. Guys, we got a lot of great companies coming in helping us. Some of our sponsors are coming in helping us. And then Jason Jennings and Jimmy from Castaways, he's been helping out, just getting everything set up. It's a lot to getting a benefit tournament set up if you do it the right way and try to draw as many people as you can. So we've really been working on trying to get that going. I'm going to share that some more, but also on the following day we have an event that I contemplated on canceling, but I'm not, because James, he's going to be coming up and we're going to be fishing that together. So we're just gonna fish that, and James is sending me crazy texts now. But anyways, this event coming up is gonna be really important. Landon, he loves fishing. He loves tractors. He loves being outdoors. He's got a bad. It went as a brain tumor. They thought they got everything straight, and then they ended up finding some more problems popping up. I don't want to go into too much detail with it, but he's having a tough time, and with doctor bills and everything coming up, Christmas could be light. So we're doing this tournament to help raise money to help the family out with getting so they can have a great Christmas this year. We're going to be doing a raffle, so please, if you're fishing this with us, please, it's just going to be a couple bucks a ticket, man. We got a $400 rod that's going to be it's built. It's been delivered. I talked to Jason, and he said that he's going to let me know when it gets to his house. So we'll have pictures of that up. And it's a custom-built rod with a G Loomis blank. It's a $400 rod. So we're having that. We got some other restaurants coming in with some gift cards and everything. So we're really excited about this event coming up, and really hope that it we did one for Daniel Moon, a good friend of ours, last year, and we had 25 people fish that one, I believe it was. So I'm hoping we go to 35 or 40 boats, because there's nothing going on that weekend. I'm hoping we just have a great tournament. So please share that. And then the following day we have our event, which will be going out of Oak Grove. James, I'm really excited about that event too. I think it's me and you back in the boat together. I think the way things are lining up, I'm not going to be on call for this event, so we'll be able to fish it together. So I think it's going to be back to old times.
Well, I don't know if I want to fish with you or not. I don't want you to know my spots.
Oh, jeez, you ain't got no spots. Your spots is my spots now. Your spots it's like marriage, you know what I mean? My spots are my spots, your spots are my spots.
Yeah, I know. I'm afraid of.
Let's see. All right, Corey Mitchell said they're going to be there for sure.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to sponsor this event or give something that we can raffle off, we would definitely take that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
anybody that wants to help out, I should have said that. Anybody that wants to help out with this event, thank you, James. That's what we're trying to do. I mean, it ain't got to be a whole lot, guys. We're just trying to get some prizes so people pay a couple bucks for some tickets and win something nice. So, T-shirts, Castaways, they're giving away some T-shirts. Bob's Up the Creek Outfitters, he's going to give away some product. I got Pro's Choice. there in Lynchburg. He wants to help out and give out some product. We'll probably have a couple OneObjective T-shirts in there. Just a bunch of stuff that we're just trying to get out there and get some people to win some stuff. If you didn't do good on the water, at least you maybe have a chance at winning a prize. So, but we got Caleb on the phone right now. I don't want to hold him up no longer. And let's go ahead and get him on the phone and talk about his win at the Bass Federation Nation Championship. Hey, Caleb, you got us?
I got y'all, man. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad, bud.
Oh, pretty good.
I appreciate you calling in tonight with us.
Oh, man, that's not a problem at all, dude. Not a problem at all.
So how's life going in Caleb's world right now? I mean, you just won the Bass Federation Nation Championship. You're going to the Bassmasters Classic. I mean, what's it like, man?
It's a little chaotic right now, man. I'm it's a dream come true. It really is. I can't imagine how the Classic's going to be. I mean, that's every guy. That's all of our dreams, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to think about that too much right now. I'm trying to get everything lined up for the Elite Series and invite, man. That's the goal is to get all my ducks in a row. I think I got until November 21st to get my final decision. Right now, all my efforts are driven to get that taken care of and get all my sponsors lined up for that 2018 season. That's the goal right now.
And that's what a lot of people, that got this dream to try to make the elites. Not only make the Classic, but make the elites. It's a big decision on making that jump into the elites. I mean, you've made it, but now you got to make that decision because it ain't just that, I'm going to do it. It's all the financial backing.
That's correct. I think I might have said it a couple times today. This is a crazy dream we chase because, so much time and effort and money goes into getting to that actually that point to where you can actually qualify. And so many guys are able and good enough to qualify and never get the chance to. That initial qualification is so coveted. And then you do get it, and it's like, wait, well, how much money I need to come up with? It's bittersweet, but I wouldn't trade nothing for it, and I can promise you I'm going to do everything I can to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's, it's just awesome to, we met you down at ICAST, and you're a really great guy, really nice guy to talk to, very approachable, and then to see that, I'm going to tell you like this. Me and James had several people on the shows, and after they come on our show or we've met these guys, they've done really well. So I think we're good luck. I'm just going to say it now.
I like it.
So,
I like it. Yeah, I'm most definitely going to get you in my boat for Media Day for the Classic.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think, James rode with Bobby Lane. Bobby Lane had a great day. I rode out Defoe. Out Defoe catches a monster bass. So, I mean, you just got to have one of us with you. You're going to do good.
That's right. I like it. I like it a lot.
So tell us what it took for you to get there. I know a lot of these people that don't fish the Federation don't understand the how long the journey is to get to the point that you're at right now.
So it's actually a 2-year road to get to where I'm at right now. So 9 times out of 10, I'm not sure how every state runs their qualifiers, but for this year's state team, the 2017 state team, our qualifiers were held last year. And the way our state does it is we do a spring qualifier and a fall qualifier. And it's considered 4 tournaments, and your best 3, you have a drop day. So your best 3 tournaments turn into AOY points, and your top 10 in that standing makes up your Louisiana state team. And then, so that was taken care of and finalized last year. And then we move on to regionals, which we had our regionals in Lake of the Ozarks in April. And I don't want to say, I think it's 9 states that came together and competed against each other. And at the end of that deal, you had your top finisher from each state that went on to fish the national championship, which was Lake Hartwell.
So when it come down to practice time, did you get a lot of practice time in with this lake? Did you do your research, or was it you kind of just went and fished the moment, or you did both?
I did, man. I did a lot of research, and I ended up spending. I fished the Northern Opens on the James River, and I was on my way back after that butt kicking, and I said, well, I'm just going to plan a drive. I'm just going to plan a drive through, and I launched in Hartwell, and I just got I think I burnt maybe 45 gallons of fuel, just riding up and down a couple of the rivers, and just really getting a feel of where I might want to start my practice when I came back. Did some more research, and I came back the week before practice, before the deadwater period started. And I hit it real hard, you know. I knew the deal of what was going on was the schooling fish, but I couldn't get a pin on them and really understand how to catch them consistently. So I diverted a lot of my practice to shallow fishing, like a Louisiana boy should have, right?
Yeah.
I fished a lot of laydown. I fished I fished miles upon miles of docks. I just could not force the dock bite to happen. I did a lot of shallow cranking. You know, I changed a lot of depth on a lot of crankbaits by grinding those bills down. And I caught fish. It's just I couldn't get on anything consistent. And that led up until even coming back to practice when official practice started. I really tried to get back on that, you know, okay, maybe there's a shallow buzzbait bite going on. And I really forced that, and I caught a couple good, decent ones in practice doing that. And I say decent being 2 1/4, which I knew 10 pounds a day was going to be a force in this tournament, which it was. I want to say 10 pounds a day might have got you 4th or 5th place. But I think in practice I got one bite on laydown buzzbait, and I outlined that entire river, marking every laydown that I could find. And after I fished about 10 or 15 of them, not getting another bite, I told myself, I was like, well, that's not really a pattern. You got bit off of one laydown. I don't think you can run with this. And I really I don't want to say wasted a lot of my practice, but I eliminated a lot of what was on my mind in practice by staying shallow. And come tournament day, I had no starting place in my mind of where I was going to actually start. I had it in my mind that I was just going to drive down the lake. I knew where the schooling fish were. I had seen them in practice. I'd seen them schooling, seen them busting. I'd never hooked up with one, but I knew it was big fish and good fish that I needed to do well into this tournament. So I figured, you know, if I put myself around them and really try to catch them, I might have lucked up and caught a couple. So I headed out first day of the tournament, heading down lake, and I think I just started off with a 5XD, just grinding it around some shoals, and I caught 3 small Kentucky spotted bass just to put a limit in the boat. And I only had 3. And I stopped on a spot where I had seen some fish schooling the day before, never caught one. And I remembered a buddy of mine that I was rooming with, Jamie Leff, he had told me he fished the Classic there in 2008. We were talking about that. He was catching them on a fluke. And he told me that it had to be cloudy for him to catch him on that fluke. And now I had not caught a fish on a fluke in South Carolina since I had been there. And this cloud come over, right? I don't know, it was just a high cloud that just blocked the sun out and just made it overcast for a little while. And I pick up a fluke, you know, back-to-back casts. I catch a 2 3/4 and about a 3 1/4. And that really keyed me into, hey, you know, low light conditions. Maybe, you know, you might not. And when the sun would come up, I couldn't get down the fluke again. But it keyed me into maybe first thing in the morning I can get a couple fluke bites here in the spot. Maybe just need to be low light conditions, and they'll come up near the edge of these shoals. And another thing that was pretty appealing to that spot is it had this big old patch of hydrilla. And, you know, Louisiana boy, anytime he gets around grass, he gets a little excited. So I thought about just sitting there on top of it with a 1-ounce weight and flipping it till I picked every piece of grass off, but that wasn't happening. It wasn't really holding fish, but early in the morning it would, and that's what I was targeting with that fluke. And I think that first day I scrounged up a limit. I had the drop shot for the rest of my limit that day. I did really get I got a target on some bigger schoolers later on in that first day. I didn't hook up with any, but I noticed that these schoolers were concentrated on the backside of this shoal, and they would come up schooling ever so often. And it wasn't like the other schools that I had found where they would be 300 and 400 yards away sometimes, maybe not that far, but out of range schoolers. These schoolers were staying a long casting distance away from the boat within range. And I said, these are the fish I need to target. They're within range. They're more concentrated right here. I feel like my chances of catching these fish are a lot higher. And that really set the pace for what I was going to do the rest of the tournament. And after that end of that first day, I think I was sitting in ninth. I said to myself, all right, you got your starting spot. You think you can catch them on a low light conditions on a fluke starting off there. Then you go sit on the big fish and try to catch them from there. And one thing I did learn about those schooling fish is that they weren't coming up till about 1 o'clock. And you could sit there and do whatever you want, but if I didn't have a limit in my boat, it's hard to sit there after about 10 to 1 o'clock. And I'm talking ghost town, but 1 o'clock, something would happen and they would just ignite. It was the craziest thing ever.
Wow.
But
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's taking a big chance too. You know, I've been whooped by guys. James, I don't know if you remember this tournament when we went to Field Pot. Remember that Fishermen? And
Yeah.
we seen two guys the whole time sitting on a point. We're like, man, they must be really hammering them, but they sit there on those fish the whole time until about 1 o'clock when they come up and they caught their limit. And they caught a good limit. They didn't have nothing until like, what did they say, 1 o'clock or something like that. So I mean, that's, you got to really have confidence in what you're going to do, and really, and like you're doing, you're trying to reach out there and go for the win to make sure you know, sometimes you got to take chances like that. So
that's right. So yeah, and I did. You know, when I had seen at noon, 11 o'clock, noon o'clock, I stopped in that spot, and there was a boat there. And when I came back at 1, they were gone. It really helped me to give confidence to say, okay, that spot people can hit that spot before noon, 1 o'clock, and they're not going to see those fish. I really felt true that, hey, I don't need to go there, try to hold my spot on that one spot and try to catch those fish. I felt like I could have showed up later. Did what I had to do to put some extra bonus size fish in the boat for that morning. And that second day, we had a fog delay, and I was real nervous about it affecting the early morning fluke bites. So I took off to my fluke spot, and I mean, my 5th cast, I hooked up with a 3-pound spot, and that was my first fish in the boat, and that was just an excellent start. And I shot it up a couple good, decent fish from there, and I actually tried to make a stop on that point to see if the fish might have been there a little bit early, because you can't help but think about how big those fish were big. When I saw them schooling, I knew that they were the right ones. They weren't really there, and I hit some other spots. I shot it up a couple good 2-pound fish just to get my limit going. I ended up getting my limit, and I made it back to that spot about 12:30. And when I shut down off pad, on top of the shoal. Oh. And the shad, the herring started running. I watched the V's, and then I'll never forget it. My boat wasn't even settled down, and fish were just busting in my wake. The bass had no fear of my boat whatsoever. And that gave me a clue of saying, okay, I know how to ignite these fish. Matter of fact, it was so chaotic, and I was so unprepared, I didn't catch a fish. By the time I got untangled, my rods unstrapped and situated in all the chaos, I threw my bait out there and it never got bit. I gave it about 10 minutes. I started up my boat. I made a circle. And I shut down on top of the shoal again. And they started schooling again. I made a few casts at them, and I think that's when I caught my big one. It was, I think it was the day 2 big bass. It was right at 5:15. Made a long cast for the Evergreen Shower Blows 105 in a blueback herring color, and she ate it as soon as they hit the water. And that really gave me the confidence to say, okay, I'm around the right fish. I just got to get them to eat. And I tried my little boat circle technique a couple times after that, and after about 3 or 4 times, I did get them to ignite again. And I had about one small 13-inch spot to get out, and some fish started schooling. I didn't even get to put down my trolling motor, and I made a cast at top water, and I caught another one about 3 1/4. and he called out a small spot and really gave me my good bag for that second day. I think it was the second biggest bag of the tournament, right at 15-10. And yeah, it was a good pace setter for sure.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. James, you got something for him?
So have you been getting a lot of sponsorship opportunities out of this so far?
Man, I've been getting a lot of calls. I'm really working. I'm really trying to I'm really trying to learn how to have these conversations with these guys and companies that I really want to work with. You know, the Bass Nation program, after running Phoenix, their Phoenix next year, so I'm sure it's gonna be a good boat. You know, I just bought a Bass Cat Era this year, and I love that boat. And I've actually talked with the guys from Bass Cat, and you know, they still consider me family and gonna help me out, and you know, remember me next year when I have to give that Phoenix boat up. But I'm excited, man. You know, it's a whole new different aspect on how we fish when you really start having, okay, now, you know, sponsors are great, but I have to get sponsored now if I want to continue to do this. It gives you a whole new aspect of respect from the whole sport, really does.
Well, once you figure out how to talk to these sponsors, let us know.
That's right.
Now, sorry, James, I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Man.
Go ahead.
You're good.
No, I was gonna say too, man. You know, I know you got that nice new Bass Cat I seen on your Facebook. So, like, if you want to keep it and you need somewhere to park it because you got your Phoenix, me and James got plenty of spots. We can break it in for you and run it and all that. So
that's right.
Yeah. So just bring it on up here, man. We'll meet you. We'll meet you at Hartwell at the Classic.
Let's go running around. That's right.
Now, when you came in on the last day of the tournament, kind of go into a little bit of how your last day went, and when you came in, did you? I mean, I've watched it again today, and I shared it on our Facebook page. How emotional it was for you, just knowing you made the Classic, but not knowing you even won a tournament yet. I mean, how did your last day go, and did you even think you had enough to win it when you came in?
Man, I'll tell you, that last day, first of all, that last day was probably the most stressful tournament day I have ever had in my life. And I did it to myself. I told myself I was going to try to stay around those big ones at one point, and I knew I needed a limit, right? And at 1 o'clock, I had one fish in the box. And I said to myself, these fish are not schooling right. And I knew that was the time I needed to be around those schoolers. And I said, but I figured the chances of me catching 4 more of those schoolers in 2.5 hours was not going to happen, because I had caught 2 of them in 2 days. Well, 3 days if you factor the time that I would stay there the third day. It did make sense for me to stay there. I was like, go get your limit and go from there. You're going to give up the Classic. I felt like I was falling out of the Classic grease with sitting on one fish. So I picked up my trolling motor, I ran almost to the launch, and I caught my limit pretty quick. And I think just enough time to go in. I made it a couple other calls, and I made it in, and my marshal was, you know, the wheels were coming off the bus so bad that I told my marshal, I was like, can you call John to see if I can look at Bass Track? I wanted to look at Bass Track. And I told myself, don't look at Bass Track. But he called, and they verified that I couldn't, in fact, look at Bass Track. But when I got in there, Wes Miller jumped in my boat. And he was like, one thing that I had going the last day is I lost so many fish. I lost key fish, two 3.5s, and one close to 4, and missed a couple good ones on a drop shot. I mean, how do you lose fish on a drop shot? I did not, for anyone, I did not think it was my day at all, buddy. So Wes Miller jumps in my boat, and he wanted to video interview me, and I'm like, okay, you want to video interview the second place guy? That's fine. He's like, so you had a good day, according to you had a good day today. I was like, man, no, I had quite the horrible day. I said I was plagued with lost fish, and it took me a while to get some momentum going. He's like, well, Bass Track shows you had a good day. I kind of looked at him a little funny. I'm like, well, I wasn't going to look at Bass Track, but I am now. And I opened up Bass Track right there on my phone after I checked in, and it put me in the lead by 3 pounds. And, man, I just got flooded with I started crying right there in my boat, man. And, I only get that limit on the hopes of just making the Classic. I didn't have winning it in sight. Because the guy going out the first day, I think he had a 3 pounds and change lead on me. So just making the Classic was a goal. And from there, man, it was just a roller coaster of events. Part of it being so emotional for me because I just got laid off of a job of 12 years in August. And,
wow.
After this tournament, it was come home and get back to work and find out what I was going to do. And, I tried not to say that too much, but, it plays into the story a little too much. I'm telling everybody now. I think it's part of the story that needs to be told. I mean, it was just, that's why I was so emotional, man. It was like, now I have a career, it's up to me to make it work, but I have a door that just opened. God has a plan for all of us, and you just really ring true with it,
Amen to that, man.
So
that's what I was going to say. It's sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but that's me and James have talked about this a lot with things that's going on with our show. Like things happen that you can't explain. At the time it happens, you're just like, I can't believe this. This is like the worst time of my life. But it's actually most of the time it's getting you ready for the next chapter of your life, and for that to happen, totally. Man, that's awesome. Totally. But yeah, I mean, like, when you won it and you were on the stage, or when you come in and you knew you was on the Classic, I mean, it's hard not to shed a tear when you watch that video. And I just couldn't imagine how I'd be like wanting to jump out in the crowd like at a rock concert or something. I mean, that's what I'd be wanting to do.
The crowd surfing or something.
Yeah,
That's
look
right.
At me.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, when he told me, I think I just started stammering and couldn't talk no more, and I'm like, we need to end this thing now before I really start crying on you, John. It was gonna it was good. The tears are coming, buddy. I promise you. He ended it quick, just in time, because I don't think I could have made it to talk much more. When he told me I made the Classic, it was just unreal.
Yeah.
I'm fishing the BASSMASTER CLASSIC, dude. I looked at the roster earlier, and I'm like, my wife was like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm sitting here staring at this roster of absolute hammers that I'm going to be fishing against.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin Van Dam, Jacob Rosnick, Gordon Lee, John Cruz, all those guys. It's just guys you look up to,
Yeah, guys you read about in the magazine,
Huh? What's that?
Yeah, the guys that you read about in the magazines,
Exactly. So,
but
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I hope not to make it a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I hope to make it a reoccurring experience.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, it's got to give you momentum going into Hartwell, knowing that that's where you're going back,
It does, man. The Elite Series and the no info rule kind of scares the crap out of me. But going into Hartwell, I feel really good because I know how much practice and how much of that water I've covered. I got a good idea of where they're going to be, what they might be doing. I feel like the starting of my practice is covered. Like I really have a good starting place, and that helps me out a lot. If that doesn't work, I'll go from there. But I really got a good idea of thinking where I might start my practice.
Yeah. Has John Cruz and all them? I know that's where we met you down at the missile booth. Has John Cruz and them contacted you and talked to you any about it, or?
Oh man, I know he's giving me my time. He told me to call him sometime this week, and I plan to probably call them soon. But I know they're proud and couldn't be even more happier for me.
Yeah.
They were one of the first ones to contact me when I won, texted me telling me good job, and that meant so much, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's
awesome.
James, you got any questions for him?
Nothing else. I mean, we've covered so much.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to keep him.
You've done really well at covering everything. Sometimes we got to really beat it out of these guys, and you've done really well at explaining it.
Yeah, I had questions, but pretty much he was answering them as we were going. But that's what we like. That's what we like.
Yeah.
The less questions we have to ask, the better.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I mean, are you still going to try to like look for something work wise now, since all this is settled, just to kind of hold you over until then, or?
Yeah. I'm trying to do something in between. The goal is to get on lake and start guiding. I'm probably gonna try to get around to Toledo Bend and Sam Rayland and start a guide service in between there. To do something in between the Elite Series and between the Elite Series schedule. But for right now, this winter, I'm just, working on preparing and doing what I can to make it easier on me next year. That's all. That's the goal. That's the main goal right now.
That's right, man.
I hear you.
Well, Bud, we look forward to seeing y'all down at the Classic. We're going to be down there, and we plan on trying to get with
Absolutely.
you, maybe, and shooting some video and capturing your first time at the Classic, and just letting you live that moment. We want to capture that moment, So we look forward to getting with you.
That's right. Let's do it.
And buddy, best of luck to you for next year, and I hope that you're able to find you enough sponsorship to hold you over for next year.
I appreciate that big time, buddy.
And
is there any sponsors you'd like to thank now before you get off?
Oh, Missile Baits first and foremost. Those guys have been too good to me to even begin to thank. Those John and Shannon and those guys, they root for you every chance they get, and they help you out and bend over backwards and help you out every chance they get too. So, without those guys, I couldn't do it.
Awesome.
I hear you.
Well, next time you talk to Shannon, tell him I'm still waiting on my sticker, but whatever.
I'll get on him. I'll get on it for you, buddy.
Get on. Tell him Josh still wait. His sticker could be in the background right now, but I ain't got it. So, but no, we like Shannon. They've done a lot for us. We had them on our show. We had a blast with them on our last our show that we had with them, and those are great guys. They've really taken care of us, and you got one really good sponsor there, definitely. So
that's right. That's a fact.
Well, buddy, I'm going to let you get going, and that way you can enjoy the rest of your night. And we'll talk to you later, buddy, and good luck to you the rest of this year.
Sounds good, buddy. I'll be in touch.
All right, buddy. See you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Have a good one, fellas. Later, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's a really good interview. It really was inspiring. Corey Mitchell, I'm sorry, I meant to tell him about your comment. I actually had a comment from Corey that said, Caleb win was so inspiring for a young angler like myself. So cool to see how much that win meant to him. Huge congratulations to him. Corey, I will make sure that I get that to him. I'm going to actually send that text to him here in a little bit. But, man, I like seeing those stories like that. A young guy or even an older guy that's kind of putting his whole life into this. And, things can go wrong, but like we said earlier, sometimes you might feel like you're at the bottom of the barrel, but there's always something that kind of pushes you back up to the top, and it's the right thing when it happens. And that's just like this show, James. We've had experiences. We went to ICAST. We was talking about this. We've had experiences and things happen to us that you just can't explain. You see how everything lines up, And for him, I'm glad everything's lining up and going in the right direction for him.
That's exactly right.
But I'm going to text Dylan, and we'll get him on here in just a second. I told him about 9:45. I want to talk. Well, before I text him, let me tell everybody about our contest. James, have you looked at it anymore? First off, I want to thank everybody for that's been getting in our contest we got on Facebook right now. It's just a like, share, not even really comment. You just got to like our page, like the picture, and share it. And man, it's been a really good contest for us. Like I say, our Facebook page is starting to slowly build momentum now, and we've been really trying hard to grow this thing, and we just want to thank everybody that's liked our page and that's entered in the contest, and everybody else that's been in previous contests we've had and done so much with our page. So, but please go on over to our Facebook page. We're doing a giveaway. I got the bag here. It comes in a Mustang bag, Mustang life vests. Comes with a really nice hat, flat bill hat, if you're into that. My head's too big for that mess, so I gotta wear these curved hats.
You do got a big head.
I do. These curved hats make my head look a little smaller. But Missile Bait's one of our sponsors. This actually come out of another pack that we had a while back. This is like a little finesse worm. The Verdi Vibe Southern Stinger. Got a crazy name. Lunker Hunter sticker. OneObjective sticker. That goes great on your little mugs. And then we got some stuff. This company here, they've actually gone out of business. We still have some stuff for their giveaways, but Bigfoot Baits, they were a good sponsor for us, but he just actually went out of business. And then we got some Demiki Baits. These right here, I can't ever remember the daggone name of these things. Awesome at bed fishing. Awesome at bed fishing, man. You wacky rig it, put a little weight on the bottom of it, throw it over in the bed. Really great bait. But anyways, we're giving this away on Halloween night. So it's like you got like a little candy bag of goodies, of fishing goodies. So anyways, check us out on Facebook. Get in there in that contest. And like I say, Halloween night, we will be doing the giveaway. And right now, let me go check right here on Facebook. See how many people we got entered in this thing right now. It's been magical. But also, y'all notice at the top, this is something I've been playing with. This is kind of scrolling through, letting you know everywhere you can find us at, where to search us, how to search us. If you type it in just like that, you'll be able to find us and look at all our content. So right now, we are, my phone will update. Come on now. 120 shares. So guys, it's really grown. I mean, we've went from, James, I think we started this out with 1,117 likes to 1,200 likes now. 1,202 is where we're at. So guys, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining in on this contest. James, you got anything else to add while I'm texting Dylan?
Oh man, yeah, it's been awesome. The contest is going really, really great. I would stay tuned because we're going to be doing one at Christmas. It's going to be a pretty big giveaway.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be awesome.
Like and share this one, so you'll be in the loop when we do the bigger one there at Christmas time.
Yeah.
So
all you got to do is pretty much share it and like it then, because you already liked our page. So yeah, definitely make sure you stay in the loop for that, because that, I'm telling you guys, you ain't going to miss out on this contest. It's going to be a great contest. It's going to take, this was a good contest. The next one's going to be even better. So I wished I could enter in it. I really don't want to give it away. I'd like to have it. But beggars can't be choosers, I guess. We can't enter our own contest. So,
yeah.
But Dylan will get on here in just a little bit. I just sent him a text now. But Dylan's had a great year. I mean, if you look at the results, I know he didn't make the Forest Wood Cup through the tour like he wanted, but for his first year, rookie year, he's got some exposure on TV. It's pretty cool to watch. You know, we're watching FLW and see him come up. And he's had one heck of a run in the Costa Series in the Northern Division, too, for not really fishing none of that water and going up there and catching the limits that he's catching. He's had a heck of a year. And, guys, he's been on our show a couple times. We enjoy having him on. He's a really great, down-to-earth kind of guy, great fisherman. And I see big things for Dylan in the future. So I think he's going to have another great year coming up. And but you know, we had his wife on the last show, Melinda Hays, done really well, and she ended up placing second at the championship that she went to that she was talking about. So that just runs in the family. I can't imagine with mom and dad fishing, and then they got their 2 daughters. I bet you they're going to be in beast mode when they get older.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're both really good fishermen. Melinda's a heck of a fisherman. So, yeah, I think it's just gonna be crazy to see that. So, while we're waiting on Dylan, if he comes, once he comes on, he better come on. Talk a little bit about. He's probably listening. I ain't gonna call in now. Now we titled this show as Topwater Fishing. Now, granted, when we went into Caleb's conversation, he didn't talk a lot about topwater fishing. But it was kind of a little bit, if you really look at it, it's kind of, he had a pattern, but it was still kind of junk fishing. You know, he was trying to, and we're still kind of in that transition. We're just now starting to get some of this cool weather coming through in Virginia, so it's still in that transition. But the topwater bite is really blowing up now. Like it's getting really good, and I'm ready to get on the lake. Like right now, I got so much going on with football. I know I won't be able to, but the topwater bite's really going big. Now, once we get Dylan's calling in now, so you can hear my warning. The topwater bite's going on now, but we'll talk more about that once we talk to Dylan and talk about his year, and we'll get him into some topwater fishing. How you doing, Dylan?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, not too much, man.
How you doing, man?
How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Got these girls ready for bed, and I ain't far from it myself.
I hear you, man. That's where I kind of like to be. This long work day, I'm ready to hit the bed, but you're stuck with us for a little while, so you might as well sit back and relax.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
So, Dylan, talk about our year. We've had you on earlier, kind of about mid-season, talking about how your season's been going, and kind of want to wrap up. I mean, you had a really good Costa event, and you've done really well in the Costa events. If you look at, especially like the Northern Division and stuff like that, where some of the lakes you've never fished and you've done really well on them.
Yeah, I was very fortunate on that. The tour, man, I think it's all right. Season on the tour, I had a couple really, really bad finishes that kept me from getting in the cups. You can't have those bad finishes. But I mean, I finished strong. I mean, mediocre. I think I missed the last 2 checks by. I mean, just a pound or 2 each one. Those were. I mean, you're gonna have those. Then I decided I would fish the northern costas, and I was also fishing the southwestern costas. I jumped in the northern costas just to try to gain experience, really. The first one was on Champlain. It was the week after the tour event on the Potomac River. And I've always wanted to go to Champlain. I've never caught big smallmouth like that. Never done it. I was already 20 hours that direction from my house. So I drove up there and jumped in it and finished. Oh, I think I finished. I got to check. I don't really remember where I finished. 30 something. I don't know, something like that. And but it was a check. And the last 2, the next one was going 1,000 miles. And the next one after that was going back to the Potomac. And so I was like, well, let's go ahead and fish all 3 of these. And I ended up getting a check in all 3 of them, so it worked out pretty good.
Heck yeah, man! That's
yeah.
Yeah, it was cool just seeing you going up there and doing as well as you did on water that you just had no experience. So or not much experience that I know of. But and you know,
see, I think it's like, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dylan. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like it sounds bad, but I swear it's a lot of luck. Like I had the worst practices in every one of those tournaments. I mean, terrible practices. Like I was ready to come home after about the third day of Champlain. Like I hated it. And I mean, I just got around one group of fish on every single one of them, and luckily that was enough to get me paid in all of them. But I still have a lot to learn about the smallmouth up there. But it was fun. It was a good experience.
Now those smallmouth up there, I don't know if you do much river fishing with smallmouth, but is it
none?
Okay. I was gonna say, could you compare? Like, is there a difference to those? But I guess we can't do that. But but they're just so big. Like, you know, it's just insane. I wished I had the chance to fish that one when I went up there, because I was looking at the weights. I'm like, man, I'd been happy if I got there and caught some 2-pounders, you know. But they say them northern fish just fight like crazy.
Yeah, well, in Thousand Islands, I mean, dang near every time you set the hook, it was at least 3 pounds. I mean, practice and everything. And it's just they're all big. They have so much to eat, and half the year they're frozen. The lakes are frozen, and they leave 6 months, and 3 out of those 6 months the wind's blowing so hard that no one goes fishing, and so they don't get very much pressure at all. And they're just, the average fish is so much bigger up there. I mean, Champlain's the same way.
Yeah. Now, like Champlain, you could fish that 2 ways. You know, you could have, the way it talked, you could have went down and fished some of that, or you could have went up. It was like the water temperature difference was so drastic from the upper part of the lake to the lower end of the lake. But like when you go to Thousand Islands, is it overwhelming when you put in and you're like, man, where do I start?
Oh my goodness. Oh man, like that place is huge. I mean, it's Thousand Islands for a reason. There's literally just tons and tons and tons of little islands out there, points and humps and river channel, and I mean, just the river itself is just, I don't know how wide it is, but it's probably 2 or 3 miles wide, and there's tons of islands all in between. And then you have, I mean, I don't know how many miles of river you can fish, probably 40 or 50, I would think, and then you have Lake Ontario, which is another beast in itself. And you know, and that was the week after the Elite Series went there. So, you know, they couldn't go to Lake Ontario. So I was like, well, they call us fishing the river. Surely I can just go fish the river. And I fished the river for the first day of practice, and I don't know, I only caught 2 or 3, but they were nice, and they were all over 3 pounds. It was really hard. And then the next day I went to the lake, and it was pretty calm that day, like real calm. Like Lake Ontario was glass slick one time. Sure. And but I went out there. I had, you know, I think I had like 19 pounds, my best 5, but that was a 15-hour day. And but it was, you know, it was looking up. And then I actually spent the rest of my practice in the river, because it was windy every day, and I was really honestly intimidated by it. And I was like, well, I don't need to run out here to this lake. I can find them closer to the ramp. And so I spent the whole practice in the river, and what was that, like 3 more days, and I caught some big ones, but I never could put together a bag, and I didn't have a clue what I was going to do. Even when he called my boat number, I told my co-angler, I don't know which way I'm going to go. I still don't know. And it was I've never been that indecisive ever. And I decided I just was just going to go for it. I mean, I never my only bag I ever caught was in that lake, so I went out there, and man, there was 6-footers for sure blowing in up that river, and there was a lot of local boats. I mean, a lot of boats turned around. Yeah, I think I was just too dumb to turn around. I didn't know really what to expect. I just went nice and slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went nice and slow, and I got to my spot, and I caught like, I think I caught like a 4 and a 3 there in practice, and I caught 21 pounds off of it. I mean, just the first 2 or 3 hours, and so that was a good decision. But man, it was a lot of work to get there. And so, but it pretty much made my decision the second day easy. I was going to go back out there no matter what. I knew I could take any win if I just took my time. And the second day was they just got a little smaller. I don't really understand. The first day, every fish I caught was a 4-pounder, seemed like, and the second day I had 15 pounds even, and I never had a 4-pounder. I don't know. I don't understand. But I think I finished like 20th in that one, but yes, overwhelming. Those for sure. Champlain's the same way. I mean, just giant place. In Champlain, the wind blew every day in practice, so you couldn't even get around very easily. And I don't know what I'm doing, at all. And I can't even drive anywhere without just taking waves over the side of the boat nonstop. And so that was very frustrating practice for me. I found a little area that had a few fish the last morning of practice. I just went there and started, and I think I caught like 17 pounds the first day. Just lucky, really.
Yeah. I remember you had a decent day up there when I was driving back, and I was asking you. You said you had a decent day, and I was like, man, that's because I know you was talking about how bad your practice was. You really wasn't on nothing.
It was miserable.
Yeah. So that's good though that you
had a lot to learn.
Sorry. No, you're fine. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine me taking my boat up there and be like, man, that takes guts right there just to go enter that tournament knowing nothing about that lake. Me, I'd have been like, oh God, I don't know if I'd do it. Not unless I was, on a tour event and was able to have the chance to do it. But for me, just to go out and say, hey, I'm going to go fish Lake Champlain and open up. I don't know if I could do it.
I think the best way to do it is to just, time of year and conditions, what they should be doing. And just because they should be doing it don't mean they're doing it. But you need to go there and just try to get a few bites and just run with what you can run with. And don't try to cover the whole lake. And don't try to go do everything they're supposed to be doing. And that's just what I do. I just try to keep it simple. But not everybody's the same way. I think Brian Thrift sees the whole lake the first day of practice every time. I've watched him. I really think he does.
He said, "I watched him."
It's good too, because you know what's going on. You know what's available for you to fish. But yeah. If I try to cover the whole lake every single time, I can't do it sometimes.
Well, I think it'll wash you out. You know what I mean? Like it'll just. On certain anglers, some can do it, but like I say, I think in me, I'm the same way. I think I have to pick an area and fish it, like an area that I like to fish, like up a river. That's how me and James fish. We know we can get up a river. Most of the time, we can kind of figure out a little something and go with it. But like some guys, we've had other guys on that talked about that. The whole first day of practice, they never picked a rod up, and then the second day they figured out a little something, and then they just go the rest of the practice the rest of the tournament as a practice. They're just putting it together as the tournament goes on.
I do like to sample a lot of stuff just to see if one area of the lake's better than another area of the lake, and that definitely happens all the time. But usually it's best if I just get a few bites and just roll with it. And that usually what's best for me.
Yeah. Now tell us how the your last event went. It looked like you had a really good event. Some big fish caught in that.
Oh yeah, Lake of the Ozarks. That was fun, but it was out of all the events this year, I was scared of that one more than any of them because it was really tough. It was really the quality was there, but it was really really slow for me. The first day, the first tournament day, I caught 8 keepers, and I caught 3 of them in probably the last hour. The second day, I caught 6 keepers, and luckily I had a long day. I didn't catch my 5th one until 3:30. And yeah, was right. And then I caught a 5-pounder, probably a 5.5-pounder, at 4:30. That was just that put me in the cut. I got rid of a little bitty 14, 15 inch or whatever they had to be, and then the last day I actually caught 4 of the ones I weighed literally in the first 10 minutes. It was unbelievable. and 3 of those were over 3 pounds.
Wow.
And I was like, this is awesome, because now I'll have all day to. What I was doing, I was trying to throw a topwater more in a little bit, and then I go fish brush piles the rest of the day. And I said, well, I got 4. I can go fish and brush the whole day. And I really had 2 key spots that I caught probably half my fish. And I hit both those spots and never had a bite on either one of them. I said, this ain't good. And finally at noon, off of the spot I hadn't even fished the whole week, I caught a 3-pounder. And that was my 5th fish. And that's the only fish I caught after, the whole day, besides the 4 I caught in the first 10 minutes.
Wow. But,
whatever. If it gave me 15 pounds and I jumped up, and I missed winning the whole thing by, I think, 2 pounds and 8 ounces. I finished 4th, but I think 2nd and 3rd was just a couple ounces ahead of me. They tied. I lost a couple fish. Really just lost one. I can't even say it was my fault. It just happened. And had another big fish come up on the top water that didn't commit to it. And, a couple of them fish go my way and I win the event, but they didn't go my way and I don't win. That's how it is. I'll take 4th any day of the week.
Oh, heck yeah, man. You're fishing against some sticks, and to be able to do that well, you know what I mean, on a tough event, that's, that's good.
It frustrated me because everybody was catching them on topwater all week. It wasn't the 2 or 3 of us fishing brush. And, that's my favorite way to catch them probably.
Yeah.
And especially this time of year. And I tried and tried and tried and tried. And I think the first day I caught one of the buzzbait that I weighed. But, I threw it for 2 or 3 hours. And that was it. And so the next day, I hear all these people talking about catching them on a whopper flopper. So the next day, I throw that whopper flopper for at least 3 hours. I know if I just get 1 or 2 bites, they're going to be good ones. I ain't caught the first fish on it yet. I wasted so much time. And I didn't know where I was going to start. Every day I would start somewhere different and just trying to get something going. And the last day, I picked a stretch of bank they were on, and I finally caught some on topwater first thing in the morning. But even then, I threw that dang whopper plopper. I caught him on a buzzbait. I picked up the whopper plopper, and I threw it for another 2 hours that day. I still never caught a fish on it. The whole week I was there, practice or anything. And, I don't know, it wasn't meant to be for that.
Yeah. I got a love-hate relationship with that whopper plopper. It's a great bait. It really is. But certain lakes, like Smith Mountain Lake, I hear people doing well with it on there. I've only caught 1 fish on my home body of water with that. But I can go on the river, and the smallmouth love that thing. I would say they love it. They hate it so much that they try to rip the hooks off the bottom of it. They just demolish that bait. But if you put me on a lake with it, I don't do that well with that bait.
Yeah, well, I like it. It's just it's never been a numbers bait for me. If I'm throwing it, I'm just trying to catch a big one.
Yeah.
But I don't have the experience with it. Other people do. It's just not one of my go-tos. But I know they like it on the Ozark Lakes, and I try to make it work. But I probably spent 6 hours of my tournament throwing it for no reason at all. So I wish I would have not done that and went and fished some more brush or something.
Yeah. But still, congratulations on your finish on that. That's awesome. Now, on that event, what did you need to be able to make a Forest Wood Cup out of that? Was it to win it or?
No, you have to go to the championship, and how it works is when you get to the championship, you have to be the highest finisher in the championship out of your division.
I got you.
Let's just say I finished 5th at the championship, but I'm the highest person from the Northern Division, then I make the cup.
Okay.
But I fished, I double qualified. I qualified out of the Southwesterns and the Northerns, and the Ozark was a Central one, but that's the only one I fished out of the Central. But because I double qualified, I actually have 2 chances to make the cup. So I just got to be the highest finisher out of either one of those divisions.
Gotcha.
But but you still have to do. You got to be way up there to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah. And when's the championship?
When is it?
Yeah.
No, next week.
Next week, okay.
It's Kentucky Lake. Yeah, Kentucky Lake, and I leave. I'm leaving tomorrow, actually.
Gotcha.
Practice starts on Saturday, and tournament starts on Thursday.
I thought it was. I was thinking it was the following week, but yeah, that's crazy. But
they're calling for snow, I think, on Sunday.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun event. That's really gonna throw some things up in the air on what they're gonna be doing, because we've had such a mild winter. With it's still 80. I don't know how it is out there, but it's still 80 degrees sometimes here. We finally, just this week, it started cooling off in the 60s. But so yeah, that's going to be a big change on them fish. Now, granted, it might make it great. I don't know, but I think it might be really tough. I don't know.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't. It's going to be different because the practice is just like close to like a tour event. We practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then we're off Wednesday. And I actually like it because you can work on tackle. It doesn't matter as long as everybody's on the same playing field. But practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday is supposed to be really cold in the morning. I mean, I'm talking 32, 33, 34 degrees. And but then after that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it warms right back up. So I mean, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I always hate practices that aren't the same, and but I mean, you have to go try to figure something out. I think it's going to be all right. It's a good fishery and a good time of year, and we literally don't have any, not real major thunderstorms or nothing in the forecast. And then you got the best in the country going to be there, so they're going to catch them.
Yeah, oh yeah, it always do. Somebody always catches them. Somebody figures it out. So
I mean, this event is harder to win than any of them, in my opinion. I mean, this is really, really lots of talent in this tournament.
James, James, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, over the season that you fished on the FLW Tour, and then you fished all the Costas and everything like that, so you've been a full-time fisherman for a whole year. What are the 3 things that you've learned the most, like from other pros and everything else that everybody's doing that the regular angler might not be doing, the weekend angler?
From a fishing aspect?
Yeah, from a fishing aspect.
Confidence. That's a big one. I mean, if you're not confident, you don't need to be out there, and I promise you all them guys are. And patience. I've seen it impresses me. I mean, these guys, man, if they think if there's a fish on a lay down, I mean, like a lot of weekend guys are gonna make 1 or 2 casts in there and go on. Man, they might make 20 casts of that thing, or might fish it 3 or 4 times a day. Those are really big. Another thing to learn is that I ain't learned it very well. I need to get better at it, but is trying to do it more than one day. Because, I mean, let's say, tournaments on Thursday, second day's on Friday. If you're still trying to catch the fish that you found on Sunday, that's a whole week. That's a week difference. I mean, it may not work. So that's a hard thing to do, is to adjust throughout the tournament, and you have to do it. I mean, period. Even at like Lake Travis, that was my best event. I finished third down there, but I caught them flipping the first 2 days, and the last 2 days I only caught like 1 or 2 fish flipping. Bite was going away, but luckily I found a different school of fish that I could catch them off of on this point. It's on a Texas rig, and but that saved my tournament. But being able to adjust for more than one day, and go with the weather, and that's probably the number one thing to me.
So just fish the moment,
Fish in the moment, exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard because my only the 2 bombs I had this year, finished 136 at Gunnersville and 156 at Beaver. And those two are the only two I have any previous history on. And I mean, I'm maybe trying not to do it, but in the back of my head, I know I mixed in history and bombed them both.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you know, even in Gunnersville wasn't a lot of history. I went in pre-practice it 2 weeks before. That's just 2 weeks before, but that's 2 weeks before. I mean, it's not then. And a lot had changed in those 2 weeks, and I didn't catch it.
Yep. Yeah, because I seem like I don't fish my home body of water. I don't fish as well as I do new places that I go, because I feel like I'm fishing. Sure. I don't fish memory at all because you have none. You know, so I feel like I always fish better in new water.
Yeah. Well, you're just throwing
Right.
you have nothing. It's, you know, like when you go to a new body of water, like you watch, like on some of the elite tours, you watch some of these guys that got home advantage and they win on their lake, and most of the time they're like, you know, everything I knew I threw out of the window and started over. I'm like, how do you do that? Because it's always there in your head. No matter what decision you make, it was made off of some kind of memory you've had from catching fish there. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like when you go to a new body of water, you can say, look, I know, you think about it then, I know the fish could sit up here. This is where they're going to be. It does always seem like it's easier to fish a new body of water. When I go to Bugs Island, I feel like I'm a pro because I'm like, man, I'm just catching them. And I get back here and I'm like, God, I really suck at fishing. I get on this like, I suck. But Dylan, I kind of want to go in our in-depth segment is topwater fishing, and being as it falls here and it's kind of really heating up around here. I don't know how it is at your area, but it's really starting to heat up. And what are your go-to baits when it comes to fall fish? I know we talked a little bit about a buzz bait and a whopper plopper. Do you throw a frog much? You know, when the fall hits.
Yeah, I do. I throw a horny toad a lot, and when we get to a grass lake, I like throwing just a regular hollow body frog a lot too. We don't have too much grass here in Arkansas. We have a lot of bank grass, and I'll throw it some of that. But yeah, I mean, at this time of year, I mean, if I can do it, I would want to throw a topwater every cast of the whole tournament.
Yeah. Well, it's just a fun bite for one. You just never know. When you know they're hitting it and it's a good bite, it's like you feel like you can't even catch your breath until you make your next cast, because like you just feel at any moment he's going to hit it. But what are some of your...
Well, the main to me...
Go ahead.
I was going to say that the main reason to me is that I think you get the average size is a better size fish. You know, whether it be a buzzbait, a whopper plopper, or a frog, point toad, whatever. Average size fish. And the fall, a lot of times, we're so spread out that you need to cover water. So you need something that you can cover water with and make a lot of casts with, and just go. I mean, it's fall's usually a hard time of year, and you need to cover a bunch of water, and the person that can put the trolling motor down and just go down the bank, that's usually what you have to do. I mean, those fish at Lake of the Ozarks the other day, I mean, all them big fish I caught out there that last day, the first 10 minutes, you would see them wake off the bank to come hit my topwater. I mean, they were literally in like 3 and 4 inches of water, and they're 3-pounders. I seen one, he didn't get my bait, and he was 4 or 5 pounds. I saw him. He's like in 3 inches of water. His back is out of the water. And they're just cruising up and down the banks trying to eat shad and brim and you know, horny toad or a frog in general. I mean, you just throw up there a frog, you can just give 4 or 5 little walks and reel back in and go to the next spot. And just go. And it's something you don't have to, you know, fix your bait a lot and dig out more baits, and you just go. And it gets the right bites.
Now, what's your kind of setup? Let's say for a horny toad, we're going to go to a horny toad and we're going to go to a buzz bait. What is your setups with when it comes to line and rod and reel speed for those setups? We'll start with a buzz bait first.
buzzbait, I usually, I went through, everybody's different. I went through this part of my life where I felt like I was missing a lot of buzzbait fish, and that's the only part of my life that I was throwing on braid. And I went back to mono. This was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and that's what I throw ever since then. I throw it on like a Falcon Olmsted rod and 20-pound high seas mono, and that gives me, it's strong, and it gives it just a little bit of give. Like you wouldn't think it matters. You would think everybody's different, but you would think if you watch that fish bite and you just count, a second or two that the fish would get it. But I think I have the ability to do that, but I don't, because I miss too many fish throwing on braid. I don't really understand why, but I do. So I put it on mono, and I feel like I catch a majority of the bites. A high majority of the bites. And so I throw it on 20-pound mono. I think what's the Olmsted 7.3 rod, and I throw it on a loose 7-to-1 reel, and just roll down the bank. I throw pretty much everything I throw is on a 7-to-1 reel, or I have a couple of 8-to-1s.
We're seeing that a lot. Like more of the people we talk to, more of the pros, and everybody's going to these higher speed reels, no matter what they're doing. And
I don't think I have anything that's slow. I lied. The big crankbaits, I'll throw like a 5 3-to-1 reel.
Yeah. Well, that's
it.
What did Darren Martin say he threw, James, on his crankbaits? He still uses like a high speed reel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was real high.
That just blew my mind. I'm like, man, you just don't. I guess I'm still kind of old school with it. I still throw a low speed reel with my crankbaits just because I feel like I could overwork it, I guess. But I don't know. He was throwing like an 8-to-1 gear ratio on everything. I was like, man almighty. That's burning.
Yeah, you better listen to him. Instead of what I
say. He fishes, man. He fishes totally different than the way I fish. I couldn't fish like that. I don't know, but
to me, I wouldn't think that he fishes like that, because all he fishes is a drop shot most of the time, and he fishes a crankbait with an 8-to-1 reel.
Yeah.
You're like, what in the world?
He said everybody thinks he throws a drop shot, but he hates to do it. It's just the only way he can ever catch them.
Yeah.
That's what he ends up doing.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like, every time you watch him if he's makes the top 12 cut and he's on the elites, on the TV, he's throwing a drop shot or something. You rarely ever see him throwing anything else. But
all right.
He might hate it, but he's made a lot of money with it.
Right. I throw it on the Lose, the BB1 Pro reel. It has a real wide spool, and that thing just throws a mile.
Yeah.
So, it really just throws a mile. And so I throw anything that I throw casting-wise, winding-wise, that's the reel I pick up.
I got you. Now, when it comes to your frogs, do you still go with mono with that? Like, or is that just that's a run of the mill? You use mono on all your topwater. Yeah.
No, that's braid. The frog is braid.
Yeah.
It really makes no sense, because it's like on horny toes, the same kind of bite a buzzbait would be. But no, I throw it on braid. Mainly because when I'm throwing a frog, most of the time it's around some sort of grass.
Yeah.
And that's really the only time I ever throw braid, period. Whether it's flipping it or frogging it. Not to say I won't throw a frog around some wood or something, but usually if I'm around some wood, I'm going to pick up a buzzbait or something, or a spook or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually. But if it's a frog, it's on braid. 65-pound Power Pro. Now I read an article the other day. A guy likes to throw it on 80, not because you need 80, but because it floats a lot better. It keeps the bait up higher. I've yet to try it, but I'm sure it's fine.
Oh yeah.
But I throw a frog on the Jason Christie frog rod. I think it's a 611. It has a pretty soft tip, but a whole bunch of backbone, so I can skip it really well. I like to skip the horny toad on the docks and on the trees, and that's a good buzzbait rod too. it's fine. I throw a buzzbait on it sometimes, but
that's
no,
a nasty rod.
Same reel.
Yeah, that's a nasty rod. I love that rod. When we went down to iCast and was able to finagle one away, but I love that rod. Like I've been out. What little bit of fishing I get to do is in my swimming pool right now, so because I don't have time. But just testing out lures and stuff, man. That's just. I feel like I can really put that frog anywhere I want to with that rod. In the tightest little spots.
Oh yeah, you get in a rhythm, you can for sure.
Yeah, it's a really good rod, but
I think I own about 4 of them.
Yeah, they're once we got on, I've always thrown falcon. Well, in the last about 6-7 years, I've been throwing falcon, and when we got on with them, man, it was like a dream come true because it's just so easy to promote something then when you got so much confidence in it, and to be able when I picked up that frogging rod, I threw the Cara lizard draggers and stuff, and I like that, but when I picked that Cara up, I was like, the frogging rod, I was like, oh my goodness gracious, this is a beautiful rod.
Right.
But
right. Anything Jason Christie designs, you better pay attention to it.
Oh yeah, you better listen to that. But so tell us about what you got plans for next year. I know you're gonna try to fish. You're gonna fish a tour again, and have you worked much with any new sponsors for next year, or anything you can talk about, anyways? Or
no, I don't. I haven't put a lot of effort just yet in that. I'm still gonna fish a tour again. Main sponsor is gonna be Costa again. I think I'm gonna fish probably two Costa trails as well. I haven't decided which ones. It just depends on which ones are better as far as the tour schedule goes. So I don't like them back-to-back weeks. If I can avoid back-to-back weeks, that's what I don't want to do. I'm away from my family back-to-back weeks then.
Yeah.
I like the northern ones a lot. They're so far away. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
But realistically, you stay the same amount of time away from home as you would any other tournament. You're just driving
so far
one super long day or maybe 2 days. But as far as you might be like 1 day longer away, but besides that, that's it. But it's I like them because they're usually after most of the tour events are done. They don't really pick up till June, July, August, and it's different. It's different fisheries I've never been to, and I know every time I go to any of them, I'm going to learn. Something it's really windy up there. I feel like every time you go fishing, it's windy up there. And in big water, they're going back to Thousand Islands, and they're going to Lake Erie. I've never done nothing like that, but the tour going to St. Clair, and I spent a little bit of time on Lake Ontario this past summer, so I'm a lot more comfortable with it now than I was this time last year.
Yeah.
Well, I may go fishing the Northerns again just because it's later in the year, and it won't stack up so much. And then I'll fish either probably the Southwest or Central again. I haven't. Probably the Southwest. I like the Southwest. They go to Rayburn in February, and Grand in March. Both those tournaments should be just awesome events.
Yeah.
And then they go to Fort Gibson in October. I've never been to Fort Gibson, but I need to go up there. A lot of events go there, and I like fishing in October. And I know it's a lot of river fishing and rock, and I should be comfortable, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I kind of looked at it. And the only thing I was disappointed was it didn't come. There's not hardly anything towards the East Coast way that you don't have to drive like 14 hours away from Virginia to fish.
That's good for me.
Yeah, it's great for you. But I was like, man. So you're gonna fish those, and what was you gonna say?
Well, what about the Southeasterns? I haven't even looked at them. I'm not sure where they go. Have you looked?
Yeah, one's I think what was one of them, James Santee Cooper. That one's not too bad. I don't think.
Oh man, I can't remember saying.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. I just looked at them the other day because we was actually talking about the BFLs or the Costas, what was, the different schedules and stuff. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I was like, man, I really liked this year's Costa schedule compared to what next year's is going to be. But, it's the same for everybody. It's just me being picky, I guess. But, so you're going to fish that? And
they go Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah.
They go to Santee Cooper and Maven. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then they go to Lake Seminole in March, and then Santee Cooper. Oh, that'd be a fun one too. It's all, January, March, and April. That's the floor is wide open in those months.
Oh yeah, it's good fishing time.
Hard to jump around and do all that at the same time. You're just away from home so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
those would be fun ones to fish.
In the next year or two, I want to try to save up to be able to fish more of those. Because if I do it, I like to go in and fish the whole season. I always hate going in and fishing like one event. And, if you're just getting your feet wet, it's great. But, like, most time I do it, I want to, just fish a whole season just to see how I do and stack up with it. But for next year, what kind? Are you going to run your same boat, or you switching up, or you going back to Nitro, or?
I'm staying with Nitro. I'm trying to sell the boat I got right now.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I sell it, I might have to order one before I sell it. I need to order one really right now. But I don't know. It depends. If I can sell it, great. If I can't, I may keep it another year. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I still have Nitro money for next year. So it's not really a big deal to me if it sells or not.
Gotcha.
But ideally, I would sell it. I had a guy who thought he was going to buy it, and I kind of think he's not now. I don't. If you have 20 guys want to buy it, then they decide they can't before you ever get one that wants to actually buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll work out too, because like Melinda, she's fishing, so it'd be a good boat for her to run around in next year, and then you get the new one for the tour.
Say that again.
I said, with Melinda fishing too, she can use that boat, and then you can use a new boat for when you fish the tour.
Oh no, we only gonna have one boat. We don't roll like that.
Yeah, we ain't getting in all that mess. We ain't making that kind of money yet.
Unless somebody wants to give one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But well, Dylan, we'll let you get going. We're about running out of time. Also, buddy, I appreciate you coming on and talking fishing with us. Good luck next week, and we're praying for you, brother, and hope everything goes safely for you and good for you.
Awesome. I definitely appreciate y'all having me on. I always enjoy it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to be down at the Classic next year with Costa and all that?
Probably.
Okay. We'll have to get together and maybe we can go out and do some fishing one day while we're down there if we have time. It's so daggone busy when you go down there.
Always busy. That's a super busy time.
Yeah.
Well, we might go, stay a day later or a day earlier or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We plan on going down there camping, so and hopefully maybe we'll be right on the lake somewhere. I don't know if we'll be right there at the lake or closer to the city.
Where is it at?
Lake Hartwell.
Hartwell?
Oh, yeah.
So, at least it's a month later, though, so we ain't got to worry. Hopefully.
Special.
Yeah. So, hopefully it won't be like 20 degrees like it was last time, or 10 or whatever it was.
Right.
But, But anyways, well, Dylan, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. What's that? I'm sorry.
I said, if it's that cold, we might not be in the camper. I can tell you that.
Right.
No, you just better crank that daggone heat up. That's what you need to do. We'll take your kayaks out.
I know. Well, yeah. I'll let Dylan pull us behind his bass boat.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we went down to Florida for ICAST, brought the camper, brought the kayaks, and we never hardly had a chance to even get to the lake. And when we did, it was so daggone windy, you couldn't even cast something across it, throw your line back on the bank. So it was like, well, there goes that chance.
Should have found a canal.
Oh, I know.
Down the canal, went and caught some peacock bass down there.
Yeah.
We were scared to drive around anywhere else. We already paid $100 in tolls. We was like, well, we'll just stay around the campsite.
Oh yeah, no joke. There, New York's the same way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got one of
Nothing but
those
toll roads.
caught on camera pictures coming back through Pennsylvania somewhere. I didn't even realize I went through a toll, but anyways, Dylan, we'll let you get going, buddy. You have a great night, and hope, like I say, a great week, man. Hope everything works out for you.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all again.
All right, buddy.
All
See
right,
you
man.
later.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
All right. Well, sorry to cut that too much shorter, guys. We're getting close to running out of time here. Man, it's been nice. We ain't had a show in so long. We got all so much stuff to talk about. But James, what was your take from that? I mean, when it comes to, I guess, well, that was a good question you asked, anyways, about what he learned different this year on the tour that most guys ain't doing. And it's like you said, confidence, confidence in everything you do, man. And that is so big in fishing.
Yep. I mean, and being patient and fishing the spot. I mean, I don't know how many brush piles and stuff you go by because you're just trying to fish fast. I mean, if you're flipping, like I've seen Tommy Biffle one time. I watched a show with him in, and I used to have it recorded when I was back home where you're at.
Yeah.
And I would watch it like 3 times a winter because of the way that he pitched brush. And he wouldn't make a cast to it until he could make the right cast to it.
Yeah.
He'd work all the way around that bush until he could get it on the inside of that bush first.
Yeah.
He would go around it and find him that opening where he could get it in there.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to watch Tommy Biffle fish that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, patient.
I mean, you just got to be patient.
Well, especially jig fishing.
Patience and confidence in what you're fishing. It all works together. If you don't have all 3 of those things that he talked about, it's really hard. If you're just trying to just be patient, but then you're not confident in what you're fishing, you're not going to do anything either. So I think it takes all 3 things that he said.
Yeah.
To go off of to be able to be a better fisherman.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, when I went up there with them and stayed that one night up here in New York for that tournament, it's just watching them rig and tackle and talking to each other and the way they were doing everything, they put a lot of attention in everything they do. Detail. Like us, you fish a federation and you go, you sit in your boat and all your buddies around you talking and you just tired. You ain't paying no mind, I mean, they're having a good time and talking, but yet they're still very focused on what they're doing at the time, And I know some of them guys, I remember Dylan, I remember him going to bed. I went to sleep, and it was 2 other guys that were still just rigging tackle all through the night, and late night, and then having to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to get out there in the water. So, this is, I told another guy, this ain't bad. Fishing is a great relaxing hobby. Tournament fishing is it's not very relaxing. It can be, depending on what you're fishing, but it's not a very relaxed sport, and it's not a sport for the weak. I can tell you that. Because if you're weak and you can't focus, and it's just a tough sport. So, but we're running out of time. We got a little bit of time left, but I don't want to go into too much detail with anything else until our next show. I hope y'all took a little bit from what we talked about on the top water fishing aspect of it. We was covering things, when he's talking about the horny toad, most of you probably know. I know a lot of people, some people getting into fishing don't. I mean, that's what if I can get it on camera right. It's just a soft body frog with 2 little paddle tails right here. And then you got your hollow belly frogs, which this skirts are all tore to pieces on this one. But this is your spro soft body frog. And this is what most people throw when you get around grass and lily pads, and I mean you can around this too. But this is a really good open water bait. Kind of like Dylan even said, throwing an already towed frog is kind of like throwing a buzz bait. You're kind of getting the same kind of action out of the tail slipping across the top, and then your buzz baits he was talking about earlier, which is a big deal this time of the year. So, James, what are some of your favorite fall fishing baits when it comes to? It don't have to be necessarily top water. But what are some of your go-to baits when the fall hits and the temperature drops?
I like throwing a crankbait, like a medium diver. I like throwing the Spros, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
and
like
then
the Little Johns,
like a Little John, or a the medium diver Little John.
Yeah.
And then I throw a jig, of course.
Yeah,
and then
that's a great fall bait. A lot of people kind of.
And
Go ahead.
I throw a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
A spinnerbait.
And that is a perfect bait because, like I said, they're chasing shad right now. If you can match them blades to the bait that they're chasing, that is a perfect bait this time of year, especially when that wind gets to blowing. I know they say the wind is your friend, but I'm going to tell you what, it seems like it does not like you when it's blowing 20, 30 miles an hour and you're trying to be out there on that main channel on that wind-blown bank. But it is a deadly bait when that wind is blowing this time of year. Spring and this time of year is insane. Especially when it's hard to get that topwater bite to going, or the wind's blowing so bad that you're flipping everything you can into cuts and you're just not getting nothing. If you get out there on one of them windy banks, and you got to run a lot of them sometimes. Sometimes you pull up on that one and really load the boat, and then sometimes you got to run a lot of bank to be able to get them bites. But it pays off if you do it, if you hit it just right.
Yeah.
But do you throw a swim bait much through the winter, fall? I don't have a whole lot of luck with a swim bait, even here and there. It's not a go-to bait, but do you have much luck with that?
Yeah, I have a swim bait and then a fluke too, as well.
Yeah, that's actually been kind of added to my arsenal in the last 2 years. After Alan whipping my tail several times, when we fished castaways and stuff together with a fluke, I was like, man, I got to start throwing that thing. So I've been starting to do really well with it. But that's a great fall bait. And I'm glad you said that, because that's a good bait. And pretty much what you named off is exactly what I like to throw. I mean, because that's how we used to fish together anyways. But a lot of times, too, when it comes down to it, and it's really tough for me, something that's been big for me for about the last 2 or 3 years is a flick shake, wacky rigged on a. I don't throw the Cinco like I throw that worm, that stick worm. I don't actually throw the Gary Amagato Cinco. I actually go on eBay and buy a whole big bag of green pumpkin Cincos or watermelon. Because that way if they rip off, it ain't like you lost a pile of money. But I put them on a flick shake, man, and put them up under them docks. You don't always catch monsters, but you can normally catch a good, decent keeper with them when times get tough. So I'll go with that and a shaky head when times get really tough. But I try to stay with that some kind of topwater bite in the morning and through the day in some spots. And that spinnerbait. It's just that spinnerbait. I love that spinnerbait this time of the year. But
Yep.
But anyways, guys, sorry we didn't go into too much more detail with it. I hope we kind of give y'all some stuff to start with on your next trip out. I also want to remind everybody, please don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube if you like what you see. Please hit the like button, hit the old thumbs up button if you liked our show. That means a lot to us. And also on iTunes, guys, we really love to get a rating from you guys. We got one on there that we can see. It really helps out when when people go in and search fishing shows. It really helps us pop up. We've had a lot of views through iTunes and done really well with it. I think that's what helps us getting up there where we're at now in search volume, is just because of our views. And we want to thank y'all for watching our show and listening to our show. But please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget about our Facebook contest we got going on right now. It's pretty simple. You like the post, you like OneObjective's Facebook page, and you share it. Really simple. We're going to pick somebody on Halloween night, and they'll get the goodie bag in the mail. And then, like I say, we got another one coming up. James brought up earlier about for Christmas time. You don't want to miss that contest. This is a good one, but you don't want to miss that contest. But that's all we're going to say. I don't want to leave any more on the table for y'all to figure out what it is. But anyways, James, you got anything else to add? I'm about out of breath, man.
No, man, I just want to thank all our sponsors for helping us out through the season, and I'm very happy with how we've grown and everything like that, and that wouldn't be possible without everybody that's listening in and watching our videos and commenting and helping us out. You know, even bad comments are good comments to us because we can learn from them and hopefully make the show better for y'all to listen to. So thank y'all for everything, and hopefully we'll see y'all be listening into our next show.
Yeah, and stay tuned to more videos we got coming. Hopefully James will get some stuff together to get his truck one up. I know it's not going to be fishing, but it kind of leads into it. It goes to your tow vehicle. So I also got one coming out for my setup for my kayak. James just did one on his. Go check that one out. That's a really good video, and we've had a lot of comments off of that. James did a good job with that. We got more coming with YouTube now that we're kind of in the studio and getting everything set up. So there will be more coming. And guys, like James said, I really thank everybody for what y'all have done with listening and commenting on our stuff. And like I say, talk about sound quality. I get a lot of this a lot, but we're working on it now with the studio, and the room is kind of barren. I hung some stuff up just trying to cancel out noise bouncing off the wall, so it'll get better. But other than that, guys, like I said, we appreciate everything y'all have done. And hey, have a great weekend. It's gonna be beautiful, at least where we're at. And if you get some fish, please share them on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page, whichever format you're on. Just go in there and share them. Hashtag OneObjectiveBF, and also check out our webpage, OneObjectiveBF.com. We got all our videos that are on YouTube are up there, articles, and so just stay tuned for more to come, guys. Y'all have a great weekend, great night, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right, man. Thank y'all. Bye.